This lunation asks you one burning question. Is the vision you're pursuing still worth it? You may feel you've reached a crossroads, struggling with a heavy burden, and now it's time to assess, endure, and choose. You may feel the weight of all the accumulated effort over the years, your dreams that are now demanding some sacrifice, or maybe you're questioning the burdens you've carried for far too long. It could be time to gently and simply set it down. My name's Sonia and I'm your host. This is Celestia Astrology. And if you enjoy this or find it helpful at all, please do comment, like, subscribe, maybe share a moon emoji or the archer with the bow, which is the symbol for Sagittarius, if you've been feeling this weight of the burden. The truth illuminated under this full moon can be hard won. It may not arrive gently. However, if you are struggling, do remember that ultimately it wants to set you free, either by renewing your commitment to completing the quest and accepting the sacrifice, or by setting down the burden. The moon is lighting up the Sagittarius 3 Decan, where the fire of inspiration has been transmuted into the flame of weighty commitment. This is where optimism must be anchored by responsibility, and resilience has been forged in struggle. Think of it as the final stretch of a long climb, the last push, and a time to align your mind, body and spirit to give it all you've got. You may need to lighten your load, to dig deep in order to summit, and that's okay. Let's explore some of the threads of this moon and see if we can weave some of them together. The fire of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a mutable fire sign. Following initiating Aries and sustaining Leo, it is filled with faith, expansive, adventurous, ever seeking new quests. It is yang or masculine, hot and dry, and ruled by the greater benefic Jupiter. Sagittarius seeks direction, purpose, and the kind of truth that's not only discovered in books, but lived out in the world, on the road, in conversation, in experience. Jupiter offers the insights that can be learned through knowledge, bringing things and people together, and creating order. Sagittarius seeks to understand the world through movement, storytelling, belief and vision. Mutable fire is not the initiating blaze of martial Aries or the fixed enduring flame of solar Leo. It flickers, leaps, searches, adapts, and dynamically responds to its environment. This is the wildfire that leaps from peak to peak, always looking for higher ground. As a yang or masculine sign, Sagittarius acts outwardly, with a faster willingness to move towards exploration and truth-seeking. Think of the spirit animals of Sagittarius, the eagle and the wild horses on the open plains. There is a nature that is never tamed or contained here, forever chasing distant horizons. A full moon in Sagittarius is asking us to seek meaning, to aim higher, and will illuminate our belief systems, as well as any cracks in them. As a mutable fire sign, Sagittarius burns away stagnation, inconsistencies and falsehoods. It needs freedom, growth and vision to feed the flame, but the shadow side may also wrestle with restlessness, fanaticism and burnout. The full moon, revelations and lunar family. Full moons are defined by oppositions. We find the sun and moon opposing each other in the sky. This time marks the halfway point in the lunar cycle, illuminating what was hidden from us at the new moon. A full moon can bring clarity, culmination, revelations, and at times relational tension, sometimes even emotional catharsis. The truths revealed may ask for integration. They can be a time of heightened awareness and disruption. The seeds planted during the new moon 2 weeks before or 6 months before, in this case the Sagittarius new moon on the 29th of November 2024, come to fruition now. The moon is at its brightest, lighting up the night sky and symbolically reflecting the light of the sun, showing us both what is completed and what we must now prepare to release as we move towards the end of the cycle. Astrologer Dietrich Pessin outlined the concept of moon families in the book Lunar Shadows 3. Each new moon initiates a longer narrative story arc that unfolds over 27 months in 4 key phases that are all related in a moon family. New moon, conception of a theme, December the 12th, 2023 at 20 Sagittarius. First quarter moon, crisis and action, September the 11th, 2024 at 19 Sagittarius. Full moon, culmination and revelation, June 11th, 2025 at 20 Sagittarius. And last quarter moon, release and reset, March the 11th, 2026 at 20 Sagittarius. If your natal chart is activated by 20 degrees of Sagittarius, for example by square or opposition aspects from planets within 17 to 22 degrees, or planets in Sagittarius, Gemini, Virgo or Pisces, you are more likely to experience this longer journey with the Sagittarius lunar family. You may now feel the urge to review decisions or pivot towards a goal initiated in December 2023. Do you know what house Sagittarius is in for your natal or birth chart? What themes might arise? You can book a reading with me or any astrologer or astro coach if you want to explore this further. I have YouTube videos you can watch to learn how to cast a chart and identify the houses so you can identify what themes to expect. My Astro Coaching Workbook will also help you work and co-create with the lunations. There's a link to purchase it in the notes, or you can download it for free when you upgrade your subscription on Substack to paid and support my work. It's a low-cost subscription. It's the lowest level that Substack allows. And as I know things are tight, I've also thrown in an astrology readings discount too, and it also entitles you to join our live monthly Zoom Q&A meetings. The Decan of Sagittarius 3, the final climb. This Decan is co-ruled by Saturn and the Sun, a challenging combination of the planet of restriction, decay and time, with the life-giving luminary of will and vitality. In Sagittarius 3, the philosophical fire must confront the material burden of realization. Dreams are heavy when we must carry them uphill. Here, the wild optimism of Sagittarius turns serious, just like a performance review of sorts. The earlier stages of joyous exploration give weight to burden, grit, and hard-won endurance. The delight and optimism of the quest has become the test of whether you're still willing to carry the weight of your vision. The finish line is close, but you need all of your resources now. Astrologer Austin Coppock calls this Decan the horse's skull, symbolising the worn-out body after a long pursuit, the exhaustion and cost of a grand vision, while evoking the imagery of endurance, death, drive, and a relentless need to move forward, no matter the cost. He writes, must choose which burdens they will bear to the bitter end, and which are not worthy of such feats of will and endurance. Kira Ryberg calls it resilience, highlighting the need to persist with integrity, drawing on deep inner resources. She writes about the traditional definitions by ancient authors, which interpret the conflict between Saturn and the Sun and represent the two different options one finds in the final Decan of Sagittarius, the glory of finishing the marathon and the exhaustion that follows. When one is tired, weak, hungry, and exhausted, they are more likely to enter into a state of defensiveness and hostility, for they have likely been beaten down by some oppressive force. The Wild Way Oracle names it all or nothing, with keywords weight of the world, determination, will and endurance. The Oracle card shows us a wildcat resting for a moment in the snow, allowing it to settle on their head. The accompanying Oracle book reminds us that the wildcats are on the brink of extinction due to habitat loss and persecution. They will certainly respond with aggression when threatened. However, despite all this, in Scotland, there still remains a small population, demonstrating the resilience of these wildcats. The Oracle Wildcat says, just like Sagittarius 3 Wildcat, you've almost made it. The end point is in sight, but in order to get there you must give everything you have left. Mind, body and spirit must now align to reach your goal. You can either crumble under pressure or use it to drive yourself forward. There's no in between. Be aware, though, that great hardship must be worth the end result. Do your goals justify the burdens that you must endure and sacrifices you must make to reach them? Now is the time to decide. This is a Decan of final tests and existential questions. Saturn asks you, was it worth it? The Sun asks you, do you still believe? You are at the crossroads, but can see the finish line ahead. Rest a moment while you make your choice. This Decan is where we either collapse under the weight or break through in triumph. Many may experience this lunation as a moment of decision. Do I keep going? Is the vision still worth it? Or must I revise the goal? The tarot card for Sagittarius 3 is the Ten of Wands. The card shows a lone figure carrying a heavy bundled load uphill, shoulders hunched, but resolute. The work is almost done, but it is punishing. This is the moment of overextension, going further than you ever have before, of leaving your comfort zone far behind, of doing too much, but also of taking responsibility for your dreams. He walks towards the horizon, unable to see clearly where he is headed, but committed to the journey. The ones he carries are both his burdens and his ambitions. This card shows the cost of success, the final push, the weight of responsibilities accumulated over time, and the tension between endurance and collapse. It warns against martyrdom, but also honours the sacredness of commitment. Are you weighed down by duties that you or those around you have outgrown? Is your vision still worth the labour? T. Susan Chang calls this Decan the weight of the world, and writes that this Decan can be our greatest victory, the final forging of our legend, or that we can combust, or even both. She writes the verse in Dreaming the Decans: fulfill your dreams, rising up on sacred smoke, ambitions I have held and stoked, flames inspire or consume, advance to victory or doom. Accept the burden without rancour, forge the chains of your own anchor. Bent beneath that worldly weight, what you must suffer, dedicate. Do what thou wilt, do what thou must, fulfill your dreams, lest they combust. The verse highlights the sacred obligation that comes with desire and ambition. Purpose must be fueled not only by hope or dreams, but by commitment and hard work. This is the essence of the Decan. We may all experience it differently. Some may feel the crash of exhaustion, others may rise into clarity. Either way, it is a moment of reckoning, a time of pause at the crossroads, the reward of effort, or the realization that a course must shift. Astrological aspects at the crossroads. These astrological conversations between the planets offer us insight and nuance to assist us at the crossroads. Grand cross with the nodes. This lunation forms a grand cross with the karmic lunar nodes, which can indicate a fated turning point. Full moon is halfway between the eclipses and reflects the sun at the bendings, where a reckoning or pivot in the story occurs. This creates a dynamic tension between past and future, fate and free will. This could be a fated time of decision and choice. Something may need to shift to bring your larger life arc into alignment if the lunation activates your natal chart. We're halfway between eclipses, and what was stirred up in your life in March now demands some adjustment or action. If you've been dealing with major life transitions, maybe around belief systems, teaching, travel or truth, this full moon could bring clarity or confrontation. You have reached the crossroads and it's time to choose. Do you stay where you are, or push forwards into unknown territory? Sun conjunct fixed star Bellatrix. The Sun opposite the full moon is conjunct the fixed star Bellatrix, known as the Amazon star or female warrior in the Orion constellation. Bellatrix brings success, but with a shadow, a warrior spirit, cunning intelligence and strategic power. But there is the price of dealing with the difficult aspects of the inner psyche. It also warns against ruthless ambition. With the Sun applying to Bellatrix, there's a theme of calculated determination, of using adversity as fuel. Hard or physical work and failure are part of success. It adds a fierce, tactical edge to the decisions made now. Be wise with your energy. Ensure you channel your fire with discipline, rather than ego. Jupiter-Saturn square. The third and final test. While not in direct aspect to the luminaries, Jupiter in Cancer, the moon's ruler and exalted guest, is applying to square Saturn in early Aries. The first square was the 24th of December 2024. Jupiter in Gemini squared Saturn in Pisces. The second square was the 19th of August 2025. Jupiter in late Gemini squared Saturn in late Pisces. The third square, which is applying now, Jupiter exalted in Cancer squares Saturn newly in Aries. It will be exact on the 15th of June, but the intensity is building as it is so close, within days, to this full moon. The closing square is a reality check on expansive dreams and faith, Jupiter, versus hard limits and endurance, Saturn. It asks us, can your vision withstand pressure and responsibility? Because Jupiter is in its exaltation, faith is high. But Saturn in Aries demands courageous structure and strategic discipline. Whatever burdens you face under this full moon, feed directly into this larger, longer cycle of reckoning between hope and hard work. Saturn and Sun both see the moon. This full moon is seen by its decanic rulers. Saturn from Aries holds triplicity dignity, although it is in its fall, often meaning it must go a different way to the norm about things. Saturn emphasizes duty, discipline and endurance. The Sun from Gemini has just entered its own Decan, is in opposition to the moon, bringing awareness, intellect and clarity to the emotional work of the moon. Trine to Mars in Leo. The moon applies to a supportive trine with Mars in Leo, amplifying willpower, courage and presence. Mars is in the superior position here with the upper hand, which aligns with the difficulty the Decan warns us about. Trines usually offer ease, but can also indicate events that you have little agency or control over. Whatever avoiding action you might take, somehow it still finds a way. This aspect empowers courage, bravery, and bold will. What must be finished? What mountain must you still climb? Mars lends the inner fire to keep going, and also offers to remove what must be set down. What are you willing to fight for? What is worth showing up for, even when you're tired? This is not a passive full moon. It is asking for bold action, rooted in conviction. Rulers averse to the luminaries, Jupiter and Mercury, the rulers of the moon and sun, are both together in Cancer and averse or out of sight of the full moon. Jupiter has only just arrived in Cancer, the place where he is exalted, and has barely unpacked his bags before there is a call to supervise the full moon, without the access to do so. There is support. The moon and Jupiter are in mutual reception, but it may not be immediately obvious. Help is more likely to come in emotional wisdom and internal knowing than outward solutions. The way forward may not be logically clear. Emotional intelligence, gut instinct, and empathetic connection offer guidance. You may not see your supports clearly. You may be asked to trust that they are present. Listen and allow your body and heart to speak. Venus in Taurus sextile rulers. Both Jupiter and Mercury are in harmonious aspect to Venus, giving this full moon a soft, benefic, gentle undertone. Amid the struggle, you may find beauty offers a sweet-smelling balm, calm grounding, nourishment, and sensual restoration. Touch, pleasure, and nature offer healing. Are you open to receive support? Find your touchstones of comfort and security, as they will help you endure. What might you experience? Maybe a sense of fatigue or burnout after a long push. A critical decision point. Do you keep going or pivot? Feelings of being overcommitted or weighed down. Intuition or dreams offering symbolic guidance. Breakthroughs around purpose, meaning, and mission. The need to align your goals with your real values. Emotional release after carrying something alone. Those with placements near 20 degrees of Sagittarius, Gemini, Pisces, or Virgo may feel this the most, or around that degree in the fire sign of Aries and Leo. Those with Jupiter as their Lord of the Year. But all of us can feel the call to endure, decide, and liberate ourselves from outdated goals or misplaced obligations. Astro coaching and ritual. How to co-create with the full moon. If your chart is activated. If you have planets or angles around 20 degrees of Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, or Pisces, this lunation brings a climax in a long-term effort. Revisit what began in December 2023 and assess what is nearing completion now. Are you close to burnout? Is the finish line in sight? Can you release any burdens that aren't yours to carry? Reflective prompts. What is worth giving your all for? What dreams still inspire your determination? Where have you accepted burdens that don't align with your core purpose? Sagittarius full moon ritual. Lighten the load. Write down the burdens you carry on slips of paper. Obligations, thoughts, dreams, relationships, responsibilities. Which is most pressing right now? Sort them into 2 piles. Which ones most support your vision, and which ones are inherited or outdated? Maybe the piles could be called Still Worth It and Ready to Release. Burn or bury the ones that you're releasing. You might want to say out loud, I release what I have outgrown to create room for the fire of my becoming, or something else that resonates for you. Place a candle in front of you and meditate on the pile that you are keeping. Maybe you wish to anoint them or your body with oil or water, honouring the sacrifice with intention. Ask what will help you endure. What support do you need? What support might already be there that you haven't seen yet? Wildcat meditation. Visualize yourself as the Wildway snowcat. Fresh, quiet snow surrounds you. The wind bites. You can see the ridge just ahead. Breathe. Summon your strength. Feel the cold, the hunger, and the focus on the proximity to the goal. Allow your body to respond naturally. Ask, do I still want this dream? If the answer is yes, take the next step. If the answer is no, set it down. Also, you might ask yourself, where am I almost there? What's keeping me going? What is my final test? Let your breath sync with the rhythm of movement. When you open your eyes, take one physical step towards your goal. Maybe write the email, journal your thoughts, rest your body, or ask for the help. Go on a long walk with a specific goal in mind. Notice what distractions or doubts arise. Carry with you a small weight, ideally a stone or rock, to feel the sensation of burden and choice. When decisions are called for, reach for the stone and allow it to help guide you. How do you and the stone in your hand feel when you think of one decision versus the other? What differences can you identify? Journal on the question, do my goals justify the effort I'm putting in? Rest deeply and nourish your body after the effort. Recovery is part of resilience. Final thoughts, the weight and the worth. This full moon in Sagittarius 3 demands that we show up, not only for others, but for our own deepest truths. It is a call to carry what matters and let go of what doesn't. With fire in our hearts and snow at our feet, we press on, because what awaits is not just success, but soul alignment. This is a moment to pause, reflect, and push forward if your heart still says yes. Sagittarius 3 doesn't just dream, it fights for the dream, endures for the dream, and knows that the cost must match the calling. Remember the words of T. Susan Chang, do what thou wilt, do what thou must, fulfill your dreams lest they combust. Allow this full moon to help you complete what you began. It is the fire walk before the arrival. Carry the load, but only what matters to you now. Everything else can be left in the snow. You are almost there. Stay in the moment with yourself. Burn bright and finish strong. Travel well, friends. If you're looking for an astrologer, and if you enjoy my style of astrology, I currently have space to take on new clients. If you would like a personal, individual astrology reading, I set a Reiki intention for every client before the reading. You can, of course, opt out of this if you prefer when you book at celestiaastrology.com. The guardian of your portal reading is still available by donation if you want to try a reading from a different perspective. Please do read about this style of reading before booking so that you know it is for you. If you prefer to go deeper and work with the moon cycles and the planets in your personal chart, then I also offer astro coaching. Please contact me through a message here or book at celestiaastrology.com. You can also become a paid subscriber to download my astro coaching workbook and access the archive of posts which guide you through it, working with the moons. Upgrade your level to join the astro coaching group and astrology Q&A, which is live every month. Please do leave a comment below. I would love to hear your thoughts, experiences or questions. And do leave an emoji of a crow if you too have released something or found some hidden treasure. Thank you.